Yogis! Welcome to my living room and welcome to practice. I am very excited to offer and guide you through the regular yoga practice that we are used to having with one another, and instead of realizing the downside of not having our practice on a weekly basis, I wanted to offer us this online virtual option. So thank you for joining me today in my home as I have set up my living room for success. And per our chat last time we met, we had talked about pulling runes for our intention for practice. And if you are unsure what a rune is, Google it. I will include a link in our email that got you here below so that you can research them further. But I wanted to bring you and show you the set that Josh and I regularly use. And I was wondering how I would bring it to class, and now I have brought it virtually. So we have a glass container that has a mat, which it is suggested that you lay down a mat that has value to you. So if your mother is an avid quilter like mine is, then you would set down your altar, and then you would pick from one of the runes, which are one of the stones in your pile, and you ask your intention before you pull your rune. And we are looking for our intention to set our practice today for success so that we can fill our cups first and take care of our families, our friends, ourselves. And so we pull our rune. And we have, let's see, it looks a bit like a bee, and it is called Growth, number 16. Growth is quite lovely. We will take it. Growth, rebirth, birch tree. Another of the cycle runes, Burkana, represents a form of fertility that fosters growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, the relationship of the self, or to the divine. A rune that leads to blossoming and ripening, Burkana is concerned with the flow of beings into their new forms. Its action is gentle, penetrating, and pervasive. What is called for here is to consider your issue with care and awareness. First, disperse resistance, then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, your motives correct. Any dark corners should be cleansed. This must be carried out diligently and sometimes with expert help. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and link to you more from this book of runes that we use to reference lightly, and then I'll continue to look up things online when I want to find out more about what the rune has to say. But because today, the day that I'm filming this for you, is spring equinox, it is March 19th, fertility and rebirth, my goodness, that is the epitome of spring equinox. So I am so honored to serve today. And as I set our runes to the side for a safe place, I encourage you to roll out your mat and join me for a flow. And if you do not have a mat, no worries. You've got a towel, you've got a blanket, you've got clean carpet that you can find yourself on top of. And you will crisscross the legs if you have yet to head here already. If you've been hanging out here like this with me, then go ahead and switch out the legs. And we start to enter our sacred practice space as you lean back in your seat. Tuck your chin in towards the chest. We are so grateful to be able-bodied and to be able to make it onto the mat today. May you bring your hands to your third eye center as you choose a seat of awareness with our time with one another today. Bow to your practice as you breathe out, head down to the floor. You'll press yourself up into a tabletop pose. I will see you on your hands and knees. A few rounds of your cat and cow as you start to warm up the body. Prepare to be a bit more stiff than you're used to, as we have a lot more tension in the body, physically, mentally, virtually. So go nice and slow today. You're going to drop down to your forearms. So nice wide palms. And you'll notice that I have a pair of blocks here. If you don't have blocks, no worries. We can get crafty with something else, like a chair. I'll show you. So palms nice and wide. Once you're on your hands and knees, a few rounds of cat and cow. And your eyes will stay fixed to the floor. Keep your left knee on the mat. Right leg will extend out nice and long. A little free form movement. May you unclench your teeth and your toes. As you exhale, take your knee. Imagine tapping your bicep. Breathe out. Inhale, leg nice and long. Exhale, take a tap. Last one, breath in. Exhale, use the fingertips, really active claws. Knee down to the floor. Find your child's pose, Balasana. Gentle knees. Let's say you do have blocks or a very large encyclopedia that you have cleaned and sanitized. Forehead down to the floor, hands out in front of you. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. You are one space bar away from pausing me, right? Or taking creature comfort, but we're gonna build on. So drop your hips down to the mat. Take a little counter stretch. Back and forth. And then on your hands and knees, left leg will extend nice and long. You'll take a breath in. As you exhale, knee to your elbow. And back to center. You'll breathe in. Exhale, take a tap. Any of my pregnant mamas joining me, just go as far as you're able to, maybe just an inch or two. Inhale, kick the leg nice and long. Always leaving room for baby. Exhale, take a tap. And then release our knees down to the floor. And we'll come back onto the hands. I wish all of you well. It might just be more than my office yogis if you have your families joining with me today. Welcome to have you. And so you'll drop your belly, cow pose. You'll hinge forward and back. All levels welcome. We love our office yoga. You're gonna tuck your toes, round the spine, look towards your belly button. While your spine is round, hinge forward and back. Take a round of cat and cow, nice fluid movement. And we'll get ready to tuck the toes and take a very gentle downward facing dog. Knees off of the mat. Building a bit of warmth, you'll inhale and hinge into your plank, as planky as you'd like to get. Exhale into down dog. So as low as you'd like to go. Breath into your plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. Breath into your plank. Exhale. exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg nice and high. Stretch the neck, bend at the knee. Nice steady breath. We're gonna meet, you'll step through between the hands and then drop your back knee down to the floor. Welcome to our low lunge. You've got some time to settle on in, and I will introduce you to my other favorite prop. Meet my chair. So I will be sure to add a chair sequence for you guys to look at, as well as I just filmed one for the yoga studio that I am supporting during this wild time. Anywho, practicing with the chair is phenomenal. If you have one, you're welcome to bring it in front of you. Just be sure it doesn't have wheels, right? And then breathe out, you'll drop on down to the mat. But some of you have props, or you're a prop-free kind of gal or guy. So we shift back to our yoga practice. Arms will sweep overhead. Take a breath in. You'll back bend on your exhale. Back to center. Arms sweep overhead. We'll straighten the right leg and flex your toes up to the sky. We'll get ready to hinge forward. This is where your chair comes in handy. You can have two. Maybe you're next to a dresser. I'm always talking about yoga in your kitchen, yoga at your washing machine. Well, look at us go. So you're worth those few seconds to grab your props, and then really long spine. Tuck the chin in, inhale, flex the toes. Exhale, head drops down to the floor. Lots of places to unclench. The top of your thigh, your back side, your belly, your head. We'll work breath to movement. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, lightly fold. Breath in, straighten the spine. Exhale to fold. Challenge the balance. Arms sweep overhead, we breathe in. Hands interlace behind you, you'll breathe out. Puff up the chest, breath is in, and exhales to hinge forward. So for more of a challenge, your back toe is untucked. You're welcome to tuck your toe if you need a little more support here. Left elbow drops down to the right leg. A baby twist. Back to center. Release the hands down to the mat. You'll bend into your knee, step the foot back to high plank pose. Our first flow today, go nice and slow. Low plank as you exhale. Expectant mamas, untuck your toes, use your knees. This is our up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're getting ready to switch sides. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Left leg nice and high. 3-legged dog. Our reliable yoga, may you go nice and slow. Present moment. Your right knee drops down to the floor. I'll meet you in your crescent. Arms sweep overhead, Anjaneyasana. You'll get ready to bow forward. Any props are welcome. Leave some space. Or if you need a bit more low back support, just inch your foot off to this side a bit. You're allowed to change your mind, right? We look down towards the floor once you know where you're going. I know you guys are watching me on a device, and I'm always talking about that too. So be mindful of where you've put your device so that you're not craning your neck to watch me. We didn't come to yoga to get injured, right? Arms will sweep overhead. You'll take a breath in, straighten the left leg, flex the toe, find your balance. We're bowing over the leg, Parshvattanasana, as you breathe out. Your bend in this knee. You're working towards a straight leg, and if your hands were on your hips, they would feel nice and square. You'll suck in your belly button. We pulse. Breathe in. Exhales to fold. Breath in, lift the heart. Exhales to fold. Soft forehead, breath in, long back. Exhales to fold. Arms sweep overhead, challenge your balance. Hands interlace behind you. You'll breathe out. Puff up the chest, proud to be here. As you exhale, we bow forward. Maybe it's just an inch or two. Some of you like to head nice and low. If and when you fall out, it's just yoga. Take a smile, take a breath. Option to twist. So your right elbow is going to drop down towards that leg. Left elbow starts to lift. Still breathing while we challenge ourselves. 3, 2, and 1. Twist back to center. Release your hands down to the floor. Lunge into the leg. Start here. Arms will sweep overhead. Find your crescent. Hands down to the mat. Let's flow. Step back. High plank. Breathe in. Low plank. Exhale. Chaturanga. Up dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog. As you breathe out. Drop down to your knees. Take puppy pose. You'll stay here as you walk your hands out in front of you. Forehead down to the mat. Try to bring palms face down. And then you're releasing your belly. Take a little wiggle. Puppy. Slowly, you'll come onto your hands, but you'll stay on your knees. Instead of fully threading your needle, you are going to just thread the arm. So take your right hand and drape it in front of you. You can come down onto the forearm of the other side to do this. You're not twisting the core. You are just threading the hand with your face down to the mat. Once you feel it, you'll drop your head to the mat. Some of you are able to go deeper with your hand, your arm, your face all the way to the mat. Just go slow. Check on your low back. It should be nice and flat. Hopefully my hips are square for you to see. You'll release your threaded needle and come onto the hands and knees. Take a round of cat and cow. We switch sides. So your left hand will start to drape and sweep across your belly button. Everything is facing down to the floor. No twist with the core for now. Of course you can do as you please, right? But let's settle on in. How graceful can you come out of the pose? Release onto the hands and knees. You'll take a seat. Swivel your legs out in front of you. We take a moment in a seat. With the legs out nice and long. Let's ground here with the sits bones to start. Feel them nice and even. Toes are flexed. Soft in your knees. Fists as you press into the sides of you, maybe even a little lift. Relax the shoulders. So there's just a gentle light press into the floor. Breath in, chin will lift up towards the sky. As you exhale, chin rounds in towards the chest. Start here we find stillness. Breath out to crawl forward. Maybe it's just a light shift, forehead down to the legs. Some of you like to go a bit deeper. Breath in to straighten the spine. Exhale to fold over the legs. And we'll sit up nice and tall. Arms will sweep overhead. And you'll bring the hands behind you. Middle fingers will point to the front of the room. Just start here. I'm sure you have a bunch of tightness in your shoulders, in your collarbones. Roll up the chest. Feel the warmth that your body has started to build with this practice. You'll come onto the soles of your feet. Reverse tabletop. Breath in, hips up to the sky. Once you find your footing, hips lift a bit higher. Use the fingertips. A gentle bend in the hips. You'll settle yourself down and take a figure 4. So your right ankle will come to the top of your thigh. See how I'm using my hands like a hinge here? This is how you'll set yourself in for success. Straight arms, straight spine. Some of you like to pull yourself forward. I like to lean back just a bit. So walk your hands further back, and then we roll up the chest. Find a nice soft focal point and hold. Your figure 4 foot will drop down to the floor as you breathe out. Nice and easy. Back to center. Untangle your legs. We'll get ready to switch sides. Left ankle to the top of your right thigh. Press into your figure 4. You'll puff up the chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you'll find your deepest expression, leaning forward or back. Let's say your wrists are tender. Come on to your fists instead. Really steady breath. We are so grateful to have our yoga practice. Savor your sweet spot if you found it. Breath out, foot taps down to the floor. Breath in, you'll come back to center, untangle your legs, and let them stick out in front of you. Gentle forward fold as you breathe out. Sit up nice and tall, bring the soles of your feet together. Let's butterfly our legs. A little rock side to side. How about we stir the pot, our witch's brew. A chair is a very lovely prop. Here's a great example for it, for you to truly get into the pose and relax. I never want to use the ones in the office because they have wheels and it's just danger zone. So if we can start to figure out ways to use non-wheelie chairs, this is a great way to do it. This is how I practice at home. Exhale, forehead down to the mat. This is where you start to unclench. You're letting go of your shoulders, your hands, your hips. You could hold this for up to 5 minutes at a time. This is what yin is all about. If you like yin yoga, this is the kind of stuff we're up to, holding really restorative postures for long periods of time. It does wonders for the body. We're coming out, moving our prop. You'll keep this left leg here and you'll extend your right leg nice and long. We start here, sit up nice and tall, and on the breath out, you're gonna fold towards the leg. My mamas that need space for baby, you'll turn your belly out so you have all this space. Left hand lifts nice and high, you'll breathe in. Breath out to reach towards the foot. If you like movement, we'll hinge back and forth. If you like stillness, stay put. This is a pose of intuition, which means that you know best. As our third eye is trying to connect near our knee, you're gonna sit up tall, take your left hand, bring it behind you. Press into the knee for fallen star. Really wide starfish hands. A little bit of trust as you close your eyes. And as you exhale, we'll take a seat. We'll switch sides. Nice and graceful yogis. Sole of the foot in. Breath in. We face the leg. Mimic what you did on the other side. Exhales to fold. If you like to play, notice this leg needs to stay nice and soft. You'll be tempted to clench it. Try to let it go. Last round, if you're taking a full swing, you'll reach behind you on the breath in and hips lift up to the sky, fallen star. 3, 2, and 1. Take a seat. You'll bring your legs out nice and wide like a V. We have hips to lift up to the sky. If your low back is tender here, you might need a little fold first. You could go ahead and do so. Sometimes we need a little counter stretch before we move on. Then hands will walk behind you, reverse star. Breath in, hips up to the sky, eyes up to the sky. 5, 4, 3, relaxed neck, 2, and 1. Take a seat. We're gonna come down onto our spines. I'm gonna turn around so that you can see me better. My mamas, mainly I'm thinking Kisa and maybe Vernon's wife. If you guys are practicing with us, then you're going to need to lie down on a blanket or a bolster. Just having your heart elevated a bit higher than baby is suggested. You never know when you're going to need a prenatal modification. So swivel your legs around. You'll come on down to your back, and I will see you here on your spine. Just open up the palms, relax, release on down to the floor. Press into the heels. You'll press and lift your hips off the mat. Scoop your tailbone and set yourself back down on the floor. If that didn't do much for you, use the soles of the feet. Try again. Lift the hips, scoop the tailbone, settle yourself back down. Everything up to the sky. You know this is my favorite immunity booster pose, dead bug pose. We take it. Roll the ankles. Roll the wrists. We settle in. Your steering wheel of life. Nice relaxed legs so that you can hang out. Little tuck of the chin so that your neck is nice and long. Then, arms wide like a T. You'll breathe in. Hello, chair. As you exhale, both legs drop to one side. If you guys have props, you can see me here. Take your block. Slip it underneath your knees. You can either take it this way, or you can take your block and put it between the knees. Kind of play around, see what you like, and then we settle in. You're giving yourself hands-on adjustments today. So see yourself standing over your shoulders, pressing into the shoulders. As you exhale, palms will turn face up. back to center. Press into the soles of the feet. You can really suction cup your back down to the mat. Let's bring arms up and overhead. Dead bug pose. Oh, so glamorous. Lighthearted and carefree. Notice how much better you feel after moving your body just a bit. It's amazing what yoga can do when you're all cooped up. So thanks for joining me here. Supine twist. You'll take a breath out. Look at that. My block is right there. So find your supine. A loved one stands over you and gently presses into your shoulders as you breathe out. And back to center we go. Lift both legs up the wall. Viparita Karani. You've got saucers that can balance on the top of your feet. So well balanced. Reach your hands up to the sky. Reach for your legs up the wall. Take your shoulders off of the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're not done. Hug yourself in tight. 5, 4, 3. Elbows in towards your side body. As you burst open, do not skip your Shavasana today. Burst yourself on open. I get to join you. Palms turn face up as you really surrender into your meditative state. You'll find consciousness. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Open the eyes. Sweep the arms overhead. Take a breath in. Knees in towards the chest as you take your fetal pose on one side of your mat. You'll guide yourself into a seat. I will meet you the same way we start our class. Sukhasana. Crisscross your legs. Lean back in your seat. Hands come to heart center as we take a moment of gratitude for our practice with one another today. It has been an honor to share this space with you as the light, the teacher in me, is so honored to guide the teacher, the light in you, as you bow forward. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, friends, and I will see you on the mat next time. If you have any special suggestions or things that you would like to work on while we're here with one another, I am